A lot of us will be spending time in a pool as it gets hotter here in Vegas. So it's about that time that we talk about safety in the pool. We talk about it every year, but it's such an important topic. So right now we have Leilani Prisby, who is the aquatics leader at Lifetime Green Valley, to give us some good reminders. So thanks so much for being here,
of course,
especially with such an important topic. So talk about what can happen if we're not safe around the pool.
Right, there's plenty of things that can happen, both detrimental and maybe a little bit more minor. Obviously, the big one is drowning, right? If you are not safe in the water, drowning, it can be fatal or non-fatal, and you don't want to lose anyone you love because they weren't safe in the water. But you also want to think about what could happen around water. So falling, tripping, head injuries, things of that nature, diving where you're not supposed to. There's just lots of things that could go wrong, so it's important that we take all precautions necessary.
And something that I recently learned, people feel like they put the life jackets on and they're good, but you can still drown wearing a life jacket.
Correct, you can still drown wearing a life jacket, but at Lifetime, we truly recommend to do a United States Coast Guard approved flotation device. So those are going to be the safest things out there. Anything that is certified by the United States Coast Guard will say USCG approved, and that is super important to just make sure we're keeping ourselves and our little ones as safe as possible.
Wonderful. And the 25-10 rule, what is that?
Awesome. So at Lifetime, we utilize a 25-10 rule, basically meaning if you have a kiddo who is under 12, they need to be able to swim 25 meters unassisted without a parent in the water. So if they cannot swim that 25 meters by themselves, a parent has to be in the water within 10 feet of them, maintaining that visual contact. So if something were to go wrong, that parent or adult is close enough to help them out. And
then being CPR certified is something that you guys highly recommend as well.
Yes, not only for around the water, but for everyday life. You never know what's going to happen, but especially if you are around water, it is so important to be able to know those life-saving measures such as CPR.
And one thing that people might not think about is the color of their children's swimsuit and how that plays a role.
Perfect. Yep. If you have a light or blue tinted bathing suit, if you think of looking at it from the top of the pool or a lake or any type of body of water, you're not going to be able to see that, right? Especially as a parent or a guardian of someone who you love, you want to be able to make sure you can see them in the pool. So a bright, vibrant bathing suit is going to be the most recommended for your little ones.
So what else should parents keep in mind as we are going into these hot summer months?
Perfect. Something that parents should keep in mind is taking breaks, right? The kids are having fun. They are listening to what they want to do, not their bodies. So make sure we're rehydrating, reapplying sunscreen, we're taking snack breaks, but also make sure that if you're out there with your kids, you aren't overwhelmed, right? You need to be present in order to be present and show up for your little ones.
And then as a way to make sure people are safe, you guys do offer swimming lessons. So tell us about that, how we can get involved.
Perfect. At Lifetime, we believe swim is for everyone. So we start our swim lessons at 3 months old and go until basically forever. We start our swim lessons at 3 months old because the earlier you get in the water, the more comfortable you're going to be. In turn, the more safe you're going to be. We use an interactive instructional approach, so you can join at any time, and it's geared at getting you independent. So once you're independent, we further our curriculum, and we actually offer competitive USA swim teams as well at Lifetime.
Wonderful. Leilani, thank you so much for that. And if you're interested in learning more about their swim lessons, all you have to do is check them out online, Lifetime Green Valley. We'll be right back.